Hello, is there anybody out there? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Thought Process, the Ether Podcast, your favorite radio or internet radio show where you can call in live at any time, beginning now, 9 p.m., to whenever we get tired of doing this damn stream. You can call in at 657 223 5323. The number is 657 223 5323. And today, I mean, if you're watching us live, it's because we are, if you're wondering why these guys wearing sunglasses, well, the reason is we have gone incognito. We have gone into the incognito mode on every platform so that the government can't trace us and then cancel us.
Hopefully it works.
So, what's up, Greg?
The tinfoil hats don't work. Maybe these will work.
I hope so. I mean, I'm sure that your big brother Zuckerberg will find us. That's why we're wearing these to disguise ourselves.
It's actually funny you talked about Zuckerberg. I was talking to my mom earlier today, and she's like, "Have you heard of the website called I've Been Zucked?" And I was like, "Whoa, what are you talking about?" And she was actually talking about, I guess, Facebook had leaked like 700,000 personal information. To I don't know, someone gathered it somehow. And she said that there's a website out there that they put together that'll show who it's been, so you can kind of search yourself and see if your information's been taken. And I was like, "What kind of information?" She's like, "Phone number, address, your name." I was like,
"Oh my God!"
They sell that stuff on a daily basis.
We have our hold that thought, Greg. We have our first caller.
Let's go.
Here we go. Hello, welcome. You're live on the Ether Podcast. How's it going?
Welcome in.
Sweet. How's it going, guys?
How's everything going, man?
I'm too bad. What you guys talking about?
Well,
checking in.
Yeah, so today we are live. We have our incognito sunglasses. We're talking about kinks and what basically floats your boat.
Wait. What does incognito sunglasses mean?
We have gone incognito mode so that Zuckerberg cannot trace us.
Oh, okay. So this is like when you're watching porn and you hit the incognito mode.
Exactly.
Only if you're scared. I don't use incognito mode. Never. Not once.
You don't own up to it.
I went into incognito once and I didn't know how to get out of it and never went back.
Wow. You know what, Greg? I cannot hear you at all. I don't know if it's the... are we on speaker, sir?
Yes, you are. But you're Bluetooth speaker, car.
Okay.
Weapons free, my friend. Weapons free. It's just me.
All right. So, anyway, today's podcast is about the kinks and what floats your boat. We want to know what makes you tick, what do you like in bed, what attracts you to women, men, or the whole spectrum.
That is a loaded topic, my friend, especially for one such as myself. So, everything and anything.
Anything and everything, yeah.
Okay. I think I first discovered that I was a kinky motherfucker, so to speak, when a friend made me choke her. And in the middle of it, at first you feel kind of taken aback. But then in the middle of it, I was just like, hey, this is a lot of fun.
So...
And some bells started ringing here, and then, next thing I know, I'm getting into it. I'm choking harder. And then in the back of my head, I'm just like, oh shit, maybe I should pull back. Maybe I should calm down a little bit. And I got really into it, and I noticed her eyes started rolling to the back of her head. And I was like, oh shit, I killed her, pretty much.
Okay. Right.
So
Allegedly.
All right.
I think I even yelped a little bit. I was like, oh shit.
Hang on a sec. I want to make sure you're not. I want to make sure you're not throwing yourself under the bus saying you killed somebody. I want you to back up. I want you to take a step back. I want to know first of all, how did you meet this gal?
This was just a friend, random coworker. It was one night stand, so to speak.
But it was a friend initially?
Yeah.
And did so how long were you guys friends for? Because if she wanted you to choke her on the first time you guys had sex, I mean, that's pretty personal.
I see your point. I'm trying to think. It was so long ago now. I'm not 100% sure, but if I had to guess, I would say about 6 months, maybe 3 months of actually being good friends.
And then just one day you said, I'm going to choke this girl.
I mean, it didn't go like that, but in a way, it was one thing led to another. We were bored after work. It was like, hey, let's go do something fun.
Okay. So did you guys build up to it? Was it like she grabbed your hand and said, you got to choke me right now? Can you walk us through how it? Because I'm
struggling a bit to remember, but I know the initial not reaction so much as the interaction was making out in the parking lot, and then her going south, doing some work, so to speak, semi-public, kind of like in a corner of a top parking structure. And then from there came the bright idea of, hey, let's go to this hotel.
Wow, okay. All right.
But from there, trying to remember, yes, actually, you know what? Yes, she took my hand and put it on her neck. And at that point, I knew, I'm like, oh, okay, this is all right.
Okay, so at first, I imagined you questioned it. You said, should I get this girl to consent first?
Absolutely.
Nowadays, you never know, right?
It's funny that you say that, because today, I would never question it, and I would just go for it. And yes, I would be hesitant in the fact that I'm not gonna put too much pressure and kind of give it like a little bit of a leeway to kind of get them to be like, oh, hey, no, this is not okay, I'm not into this. And since that day, I could say not one has ever said no to that particular team.
Okay. So I imagine from here, this is something that you decided that this is what you like. Do you try this on any girls after that?
Oh, 100%.
Does it work? 65% of the time? Every time?
No, I don't. I think you might have misunderstood me. 100% of the time it has worked. In varying degrees, of course. I mean, there's something that's like, oh, okay, go a little lighter, or I just kind of like the pressure of my hand on my neck. I don't actually like it squeezing, so to speak. But not one that's been like, remove your hand, sir.
Okay, so
not one.
Where do you think that comes from? Why do you think that people? Because I assume that.
What? Okay.
I also assume that men would also like to get choked. I don't have any experience with that because I'm not into it, but I would imagine that it kind of goes both ways, right?
So are you able to hear me?
What's that?
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, and I have been choked once.
Once. Did you like it?
It was. I imagine I'm trying to picture what they felt like in their shoes because it was surprising to me. It caught me off guard. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm getting choked." It literally was like a Windows error moment, and then
Knocked out.
you know what the fuck was going on. And then after like 5 seconds, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of hot." And then she slapped me, and I slapped her a couple times actually, but she had asked to be slapped for the record. And she slapped me back, and I was just like stunned. The first one, I almost didn't even feel. I was just it just happened kind of moment. And then she slapped me again a second time, and I was just like, wow, why did that feel good? Do it again. It was like, it was like a 3-second stun in a video game, like a Pokemon stun. I literally sat there with my eyes wide open, like, did you just hit me?
Wow. So, Greg says it's the same as holding a breath when you shit.
Hold your breath when you shit. I don't know if I've ever done that. Are you talking like what, like count to 10?
I don't know, but I imagine. So he says when you tense the muscles, then release with extra sexual feelings.
Oh. Well, I don't know what it was. I haven't done it since then. I don't think it's my thing so much. It varies person to person, so to speak. You got to feel that vibe and that energy of dominance from them. If you can, a give and take energy, kinetic energy back and forth, so to speak. I'm not just gonna let anybody slap me.
Yeah, dude, what is that? What is that about? When there's people that for whatever reason they're not able to. They're always in control, right? In real life, they're always in control. Either they're a boss bitch or they're the man at their job. They have everything going for them, and then once it gets to the bedroom, they come out guns blazing. They want to feel oppressed almost.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And in my experience, of choking women, most of them have been those kind of characters that very broad mental attitude mentality, where they're very much a take charge person in real life, so to speak. But in the bedroom, it's almost switched. It's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And it's that need to feel the loss of control, so to speak. And it's a fantasy of loss of control when it comes down to it. It's in comparison to like many women have rape fantasies. I don't know why, but that's a loss of control fantasy.
Yeah. I think that we're onto something here. It's the fantasy of being not being in control, because it's the opposite of how they actually are in real life.
And I think in today's world, even though we want to act or pretend that we're not really in control or alive sometimes, in today's world, we are more in control of our own lives than anybody has ever been at any time. So it's almost back to a reversal back to the primal and letting fate take the reins for a minute there.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. So aside of choking women, do you have any other kinks that really float your boat?
Besides the BDSM and choking and all that, I would say those are the primary ones. Not too much experience with tying up women. Yeah, I've done it a couple times, but I wouldn't say I was an expert of any third level or anything like that. Another case.
So
you know what? Recently, I do have one more recently. I recently bought a vibrator for the first time, and I started incorporating that, and that's a bit different because you're not, and I think it's more to my personality. I don't think everybody's like this way, but I certainly have a kink of watching my partner get off. It's not just about me getting off. Watching them get off makes me get off. So even using something like a vibrator does it for me sometimes. And that was pretty fun. That's been a recent new thing.
I think that I'm on the same boat. I think for sure. I think that I share that interest when it comes
But then,
to.
you could always do a little crazier. Do some DP action with a vibrator or something else. You kind of feel it a little bit too. You feel some vibrations out there. But next thing you know, you're like, oh shit.
Next thing you know, it's in you.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
It's a very slippery slope. That's why I don't fuck with that.
I can't say I've got there yet, but I can see how somebody can just be like, well, that felt good down there. I wonder what it feels like in back there.
Yeah, when in Rome, right?
When in Rome, yeah, sure.
Oh man,
Sure,
so Greg says the choking has a lot to do with the timing of sexual pleasure. If you are about to pass out and come back to reality to an orgasm is what most people like. Yeah, I think that there's some truth with that.
What do they call it? Breath play, I believe? Something like that?
I don't know what it's actually called.
I believe the term's actually breath play. I've heard of it, but I've experienced it, but I never really wanted to put like a scientific term to it, so to speak. Yeah, very much so. In a couple of those girls, it's like you said, it's almost to the point of passing out. And the one girl that her eyes rolled back going back to the story, rolled to the back of her head, I immediately let go. I got scared. I got a little bitch syndrome for a second. And her immediate response was, why the fuck did you let go? But I mean, she was gasping out of breath while she said it. Why did you let go? And I was like,
you were being proactive.
You were about to pass out, girl. You are. Well, what's the term we're looking for? When somebody smokes cigarettes or drinks alcohol, you're self-harm.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. It almost borders on the realm of self-harm, and I'm like, well, why did I let go? Because you almost passed out right now. But she basically called me a bitch, though. Yeah. So.
Oh man.
That was bad.
That's wild, and I think that's normal. I think that it's very normal in today's world. I think that some people really like that conquering gene, as Greg has called it before. But that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, I just want to thank you for sharing your story with us. Thank you for calling in, and I hope that you find more pleasures in life, sir.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys. Let me know when you need another dirty story. That's what I'm here for.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you. I'm going to take some more calls. Stay tuned for the next episode, and we'll talk to you then.
Yeah, have a good night, fellas.
All right. Bye, sir.
All right. Sound should work now, right?
The sound is working. You know what?
I think it has to do with speakerphone.
I think exactly. I think it's a speakerphone that really messes it up.
Yeah.
Because there's so much ambient noise in the background that I don't think that the mixer can receive it and process it correctly.
Yeah. But yeah,
what do you think about this topic, Greg, about choking?
So there's a lot of stuff like that. And you actually see it a lot more in real life than you might think. Do you remember those black things they put around people's necks? The little a
choker?
They call them chokers.
Yeah.
Yeah. People who wear those typically end up liking to be choked. Those were kind of why they were designed. That's why dogs wear them, to cut off the circulation, and it gives back a feeling as well And it's just you can kind of compare it like this. Like if you go to the bathroom and you poop sometimes it feels good, and other times you're just like like ugh, like, and then
Oh my god, that's too much.
but no, it's all about how you do it and how and the experience of the moment it happens. And if you do it wrong, it's just not the same.
Oh my god, that's
Like he was saying, he said that the person said, "Why did you stop?" It's like, because you're about to pass out. But
I'm
like,
about to kill you. That's the worst way to go to jail. Like you have to go, you sit in front of a judge and you say, "But judge, she wanted to be choked. She called me a bitch."
it's actually happened before. There have been court cases about that. There was actually one. A guy actually killed his wife by shoving his I'm not sure if we should say it explicit, down her throat,
Mhm.
and she ended up suffocating. And some people think it was foul play and done purposely.
Mhm.
And he's saying no, it wasn't. It was just an accident. So like,
And then
that
so
you just never know.
do you know, did they classify as a homicide or murder or what?
I don't. I
Or
didn't follow the whole trial.
unintentional manslaughter, I imagine.
I don't know. I mean, if you can prove, it's kind of hard.
You would have to. I mean, imagine like you go to one of those trials. You're gonna have to disclose all the dirty shit you were talking back and forth with the person.
Yeah.
Imagine you're gonna have to give them like your whole history, all the dick pics you sent her. Oh man, that's what a nightmare.
But I mean, it was his wife too at the same time, so that probably wasn't really happening.
Yeah,
but no, there's a lot of stuff out there.
There's definitely a lot of stuff out there, dude. Right now, I'm in the Ask Reddit After Dark. And before I got to that thread, I just put kinks and fetishes, but it's literally all porn. It's like there's no questions, there's no comments, nothing. It's just all porn.
Well, I was reading some earlier.
If you want to pull them up,
it's not pulling up the same on my
back the caller that was just calling, so that if you can just have it ready for the next little break.
Who are you calling?
Somebody called. I'm going to call them back.
Okay.
It's okay. So just hang on the line.
Oh, here I found it.
Your call.
Oh, the person's not ready. They probably got cold feet. I mean, you know how it goes with these kink stories. Nobody wants to admit things. Sometimes it's too personal. It's too weird. But
sometimes people acknowledge that it's a weird thing, but you can't really change the fact that you like something. So, like, I don't know. I think we could kind of all agree it's a little weird that people like to suck on toes. But if you like it, you like it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's not like a revolting, disgusting thing. Like, I'm gonna shun you because you like to do that. But like, we can kind of all agree it's a little dirty-ish.
You know what it is? I think that it's very normal. It's just not normal because people don't like to talk about it. So just
I wouldn't suck a toe.
About what?
Hello. Thank you for calling into the Ether podcast. You're live on the internet. Today we're talking about kinks.
Hello, sir.
Kinks. What are kinks?
What floats your boat, sir?
What does that mean? Like, what gets me riled up?
What gets you riled up? What gets you going? What takes you to the edge of pleasure?
Oh, it's that kind of show. Oh, okay. Well, I usually don't kiss and tell, but
Lucky for you
I
that
guess
millions
a
of people are
really
not listening to this
nicely
podcast.
pedicured foot.
So
Maybe a little French tip.
So foot fetish, huh?
There's a French
I wouldn't
tip.
call it a fetish because if it was a fetish, I feel like I would like all women's feet. But I appreciate a nice foot.
You just don't like dirty feet.
Dirty feet can stay in Mexico. I'm good.
Now, why does it have to be in Mexico, huh?
Let's not go
I
there.
haven't really been to that many parts of the world, and when I go to Mexico, sometimes I see people wearing chanclas, and it's just not hot.
But what if the feet were nice and they were wearing sandals?
What was that, sir?
What if the feet were nice but they were wearing sandals?
If the foot was nice, but they're wearing sandals,
Yeah.
Yes.
well, then I like the goddamn foot. Did I just say that?
Well, you did also just say they were nasty. So
Okay, so clarification. So into feet, but you're not gonna go and what do they call that when not when you praise, when you
Worship?
worship. There you go. That's the right word. So you
I don't worship feet.
You don't worship feet, but they get you riled up. Like if you see some nice feet, pedicured feet, gets you going.
Yeah, this is why I stay away from the manicure and pedicure salons because I just couldn't contain myself with all those nice feet in there.
So one of the questions is, are you just impressed with shoes as well? Or is it just the feet?
Shoes?
Yeah.
No, just the foot, and it can't be over a size 7 because then we're approaching into man's territory. Foot. You see these hot white girls with like this freaking 10 size plus, and I'm just like, when their freaking toes are as long as my pinky, just can't have any of that.
Because Marco was talking about worshiping feet, and there's a thing to where people worship the feet, and they're just as much into the shoe as they are the feet.
Oh! I see what you're saying.
That is why I asked.
A stiletto can equally get me just hot and bothered.
Stilettos
nice
are
stiletto.
definitely.
Yeah, suede. Not the shiny ones. The shiny ones are corny. It's got to be suede.
What about the plastic see-through ones? The ones that you can see all the condensation from the foot. What about those?
Oh yeah, definitely not. No. That's a little too much for me. It has to be classy, Materials, everything.
Okay. So I have a question. I'm gonna ask you a question that has been asked on the Ask Reddit After Dark. It says here, and then sorry for putting you on the spot, but it does say here, how many times do you masturbate a day? And that's for both
0.
you and Greg.
0.
0.
I'm gonna hold that one in.
You're gonna hold that one in. You're not gonna like the answer.
There's not enough fingers.
I'm gonna say 0.
Is there any particular reason why? Is there a religious reason?
No fap.
No fap?
Uh-huh.
Can you elaborate a little bit for us apes?
No fap is semen retention. So every time you release your seed, you are essentially releasing part of your virility and you're losing strength. Because every time I do it, it just makes me want to take a sleep, a little nap. Just puts me right out, Just gave my whole. I essentially my body's mechanism to bring life into this world just released all of the power and the energy of my masculine self, and I just want to take a nap. So
maybe you just need to build up your what is it called? Your tolerance.
Yes, build up tolerance.
You got to build up that tolerance to 1 to maybe 5 times a day.
I've tried that. After the 3rd time, it kind of just starts burning.
Lotion. You gotta use the right lotion.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. The point of climax, it just burns.
Oh.
It hurts.
You might want to go. I'm not a medical professional, but you might want to go get that checked.
You might want to go get it checked. Okay.
Well, maybe I just run out of lubrication in the internal compartments, like the urethra, and it just starts hurting. It's like any muscle, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you another question from here.
Yes, sir.
Do you care a lot about women's hair, length, smell, and color?
Hair is a big factor. It can make or break my attraction to a female. Hair is one of the first things that I notice. It's like if I look at a girl's hair and she's got split ends, I know the carpet matches the drapes. But if she has nice,
oh man, I almost spat out my water here.
If she has a nice balayage going on, you better believe that she visits the pretty kitty like once or twice a month.
Oh, that's some good telltale sign right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. And okay, so what is your most concealed, I don't know, most in the closet kink you have, sir?
My most in the closet kink.
Like, not even your friends know.
I can't focus when you talk. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello?
Would you like me to repeat the question?
So I don't think I've discovered that part of myself yet.
Okay.
I might still be exploring. I'm still exploring my outer limits.
You're gonna have to do a lot of digging.
The way some people look at it, maybe my inner limits. I don't know if you want to put it that way.
Okay. So I guess it's safe to say that it's just missionary for you then.
Oh, we're talking about I always wanted to try acting. So role playing is definitely something that I like to partake in.
Before we get into this role playing comment, can I ask you a personal question?
Absolutely, sir.
Did you just fap? Because I feel like you have no energy.
Oh no, it's just I'm so into this conversation that it's I'm trying hard not to think about all the delightful things I want to partake in with this show.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so role playing. You were saying role playing. It's something that you're trying to explore a little bit.
To be honest with you, I just really like to just get to the point where she's about to pass out and then kind of just slap her back into existence.
Okay. What kind of like what kind I don't know, what do you call it? Like scene? Is it
boredom?
A scene? What do you call it?
I like to be the dominant. I like to dominate BDSM.
Okay. So you were talking about like tying, maybe spanking, maybe a little bit of the whip action, like Catwoman.
You ever seen a hog get tied? Something like that.
Only on the travel show, dude. Or Geo.
Hog tie. Look it up.
All right, Greg.
Look it up.
I already know what it is.
Greg, you already know what it is? Have you had some experience with it?
No. I'm not really not into that.
Maybe some hot wax as well. Just to really bring the pain. Some clamps.
Some clamps.
See, I don't understand the clamp thing.
Nipple clamps.
Like, I know it's a pretty popular thing, but I don't like. I understand it's a very sensitive area, and I'm trying to understand why in that sense, like sometimes I go pee and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like rip the hole and and it's gonna hurt like crazy. But some people will go and get a piercing through it. And I'm just like, why?
I don't know.
Like I can't wrap my head around it.
I think that different people have different pain tolerance.
I
And
feel like pain is different for everyone though.
I think it's called masochism.
masochism is the right word, yeah.
I think so.
Okay. So, do you have any questions for the community here who's listening live? Any ideas you want to put forth while you're on the air here?
I would like to. It would be interesting to see a poll of men who would like to receive the penetration from their female in reverse.
So, you mean like the what do they call it, pegging or something like that?
Absolutely. I have tried. Numerous women have tried to get me to partake in this event, and I just cannot bring myself to do it. The idea of it repulses me without a doubt.
Do you think that there's a sense of dominance? You know, like I take my dog to the dog park a lot, and I always notice that the male dogs try to hump the other male dogs, and I always questioned it, and I had to go look it up on the internet, and basically it's they're showing their dominance over that dog. It's not, they're not trying to have sex with it. They're just trying to show their dominance over them. Do you think that there's something to that when it comes to humans?
I think that's called homosexuality, but maybe there's an underlying essence of dominance. I'm not quite sure if I understand the question correctly.
Well, if you ever go through it, let us know. We would be delighted to hear about your story.
Maybe on the next episode of Kinks. I was not prepared for this types of questions, but I really do appreciate your gentleman's. This is like kind of like therapy, so I appreciate it.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for calling, and hope that the what they say, when the wave rises, it rises all boats. So whatever floats your boat, sir. Glad you called in, and we can't wait for you to call back next week.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a wonderful night. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Woo, that one was a little rough. We talked about a little bit about pegging. I mean, yeah. What do you think, Greg?
About pegging? I would not do it. The
What do you think
of
that
something
comes from?
in your butt just would make, I don't know, I'll put it this way. It makes you feel like you need to poop the whole time. Imagine that.
Okay.
Imagine that, like not knowing if you're pooping or if there's just something inside of you. Would you enjoy that?
I personally would not. No.
No, but some people are perfectly fine with pooping urine on them.
Yeah.
AKA enjoy it as well. So it's, I don't know. I just don't get some of that stuff. And that's why these kind of things aren't necessarily typical, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not say, no one can like it. It's just not typical.
Okay. Well, while you prepare some of the things that you came up on the Ask Reddit After Dark, I'm gonna call this other person who just called us, and then we'll be back with you guys. Well, actually, we'll be back on the topic again, Greg. Let me see if I can find that number here.
Hello.
Hello, you're live on the Ether podcast, sir. How you doing?
Oh, the ether.
Yeah, today we're talking about kinks. and
No,
everything
I
kinks.
just saw a YouTube video on this. You got me. You called the kinkiest mother effer around. Shit.
Sounds like it's not a good thing.
You caught me with my pants down. No, Kinks. Okay, so what do you want to know?
Well, I don't know what I want to know. It's really about what floats your boat. We don't
Okay,
know what
cool.
floats your boat.
Maybe
We
it's
would
about
like to
something we
know
don't know.
how people operate, and yeah, I mean, we're just trying to break the ice a little bit here. We had a gentleman talk about choking. We had another gentleman talk about pegging, and
What's pegging? Choking is basic. Come on now, let's graduate. We're not high school anymore.
I actually thought the same thing. I was like that I think that's actually a semi-common practice nowadays.
Oh yeah, is that Greg?
Yes.
Yes, that is Greg.
Hey, well, I guess let's graduate, right? I mean, we pegging sounds like that sounds like grade school stuff.
Okay.
No, it's definitely not great.
Take us to the college
College,
experience.
university.
All right, let's go.
Take us to the
Let's
either.
go PhD level, baby.
Okay.
No, King. So, well, first off, I think I want to ask you, what is pegging? What is pegging?
Pegging.
I've never heard of. Yeah, what's that?
Okay. So pegging is when it's typically where the woman penetrates the man.
Oh, what the fuck?
Hey, come on, man! I thought you said that was grade school stuff. You gotta graduate.
Sure.
You gotta get the PhD,
Sure,
right?
sure. Are we talking finger in the butt, or are we talking like full on strap on? I'm gonna fuck you.
Strap on.
Yeah,
It's
we're
not-
talking like 12-inch strap on.
No, that's just
12 inch-
gay. That's
12
just gay. And whoever brought up pegging, they need to check their sexuality, and if they're cool with it, I mean, they're just greedy because they like everything.
I mean, no offense to anyone, but it can't be gay because it's not of the opposite sex. I'll just leave it.
What was that again?
It can't be gay because it's not of the opposite sex.
It's totally gay, Greg. Whoever told you it's not, totally lied to you, man. But hey,
It'd have to be
each
opposite
their own.
sex to be
I'm
gay.
not hating. I'm not hating. If that gets you off, go for it. There's nothing
Okay.
wrong with the little finger in the butt once in a while, but the full 12-inch strap-on black dildo thing, strap-on dildo thing, kind of scares me a little bit. Not for me.
Okay.
Is this confidential, by the way?
This is totally confidential. That is why, if you're watching us live on any of your favorite platforms like Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, it's why we're wearing these glasses that Greg took off.
Incognito?
We're on incognito mode so that Mark Zuckerberg cannot track us down. So feel free.
That's
It's
good.
weapons free time.
Okay, good.
You come
Good,
and tell
good.
us, whatever your dirtiest secrets are.
Well,
I took mine
weapons
off
free is
because
my
I'm an
favorite type of
exhibitionist.
podcast. What are the rules of engagement, boys? Weapons free. I'll tell you what, not to go on a tangent here, but incognito mode. Okay, so I'm not going to get like blasted with ads for dildos or like kinky shit on my Instagram feed after this call.
Oh,
That's up to you. That's if you silence your devices and put them in the
That's up to you.
microwave, then you're good.
Is Pornhub going to be listening in and trying to send me videos, like cool videos, and like that I don't want to see, of course?
Pornhub
Well, you know
doesn't
how
need to
the algorithm
advertise.
works.
You go to them.
Yeah, I do. Oh, Kinks. Okay, let's go back to Kinks, not to deviate from the subject. So choking. Choking is totally cool. That is cool. I do like that. Most women, from my experience, 100% of the time like it. And what else? Slapping. I've never punched a woman before. That's never. I think I maybe once been asked to punch someone. I think it was a long time ago though. I can't even remember.
Now, how did that even come up? Was that during sex?
I don't know. Some of these women, man, they've been abused and they like to either relive the moment for some weird psychological reason. Physiological or psychological or both, they just they like the pain. They like, I don't know. A lot of them like the abuse.
well, like not in a bad way, but in a good way.
Yeah. Do you
As
think
long
that
as it's
comes
like a
from?
safe, as long as they feel kind of like in a safe environment, I think. And I know I have a friend that likes to hog tie women, and he's shown me. I was skeptical about that for a while because I'm like, how do you even approach a woman with that? You just like bust out the handcuffs and the rope, right?
Oh
And then
God.
just like what's going down, right? And they're like, okay, they either give you the yay or get away from me, you freak, right?
Yeah.
I think it usually starts as
But yeah,
a joke
he
almost.
had good turnout with that. He showed me pictures of a lot of women, right? And I've seen a lot of homemade videos that he's created. He's a weirdo, right? He'd be the Dungeons and Dragons type that have, and a lot of nerdy, from my experience, a lot of nerdy chicks like that stuff. They're into that kinky stuff. The nerdy gamer type chicks are into the freakier stuff. There's some squares out there. There's a lot of girls that are like just not fun or not about like experimenting. But I think you got to live a little bit, especially in times of COVID.
Yeah, I mean, you're locked in a room with your significant other or with a friend. You got to explore some new grounds.
Yeah,
not with your significant other.
Like open to exploring, but like this friend that I'm speaking of, who shall remain unnamed, he has told me, and I know this stuff would go on, but he's like, yeah, I've gone to a sex club the other day, and I'm like, I knew they kind of existed, but like I've never firsthand experienced anything like that, and I think that's a little freaky. And I know there's people, especially I think as you get older, people are like more willing to try weird shit, and like the swinger couple thing is like probably more prominent than we all know. Right? A lot of people have like a freaky side. It's just like the lady in the streets freaking the sheets type of slogan. I think there's a lot of couples out there that try to live this double life.
Yeah. So how do we break the norm? Okay, how do we break in the norm and bring these things to light so that people stop walking around, their place?
So it's more acceptable.
No, so that it's more open and it's more accepted, I guess. Like
more acceptable.
Yeah, more acceptable.
I think a lot of people are going to be hesitant. Well, for a lot of reasons, right? One, for job reasons, they have to. Like, I bet you some of those politicians in the high-ranking offices. I mean, we've already seen it. They've been known as the biggest freaks. I mean, there's those scandals about them liking young girls or underage girls. And that's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
And there's so much weird shit that happens that of course it ends up in the web, but I think a lot of people have some weird kinky type of behaviors that, and some explored and some not explored, or some just like hoping that it would happen to them someday, like the fantasies.
Yeah. So,
and of course, a lot of like sex is mental, right? A lot of sex is it's definitely physical, but there's definitely a huge mental component to it, and some people get really off on the different stuff.
So what? Now that we're on that subject, what floats your boat? What
My
is
boat?
What is the thing
personal.
that
sounds very personal?
It is very
like,
personal.
What would
This is the purpose of this call. We want to know what is it that that gets you going, that gets you riled up, that I don't know, you don't have to feel shameful. It's just Greg and I here and only 500,000 other people listening to the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm afraid of. But anyway,
we're not going to burn people here. That's not what we do. So everything's confidential.
Yeah, a lot of people probably recognize my voice because I have one of those distinct voices. But in any case, like, can I get one of those modulator things that kind of disguise your voice? That'd be cool. It'll make me feel more comfortable.
Hang on, let me see if it will work.
We'll make you sound like a lady.
All right, go ahead.
But they've already heard me.
No, it's not working.
No, it doesn't work.
Oh, it works for you.
Yeah, it only works for me. That's the thing about this, this type of conversation.
Podcast?
Yeah, where
Conversation.
it's not in
I
person.
need to
it's
be like
really,
the gang related. You know how they black out? They have like blacked out silhouette, and they're talking about gangs, and they're like ex gangbangers that are kind of riding their old posses out, and they don't want to get killed.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. That'd be cool.
I wish that I had something for that, but I don't. Okay, so let's not go to your darkest, dirtiest secrets. Let's get to the something that it's more normal. You don't.
Well,
you don't
for me,
mind
to be
sharing?
honest with you, yeah, I'll be honest. Let's see. Like, I think I've personally been looked at as someone that's flirty and sexual, but I don't. I think I am like, in all honesty, I think I'm an amateur compared to a lot of other people. Like, I don't own handcuffs. I've never bought toys. I've known people that have dildos as guys, right? Like, I've always pictured that or imagined that as being a girl thing. Right. And even some, not all girls have them, but a lot of them do, which a lot of that stuff has gone over my head many, many years. And like, I'm just so innocent, I think, in a way. And just like drugs, right? I was totally clueless to drugs for a long time and how many people are on them. But I'll tell you what, having sex on cocaine, that's kind of fun.
Okay.
if you've never tried that. But that adds to the excitement. If you've never experienced it, but that and like I've had offers for like a threesome in the past, and a lot of guys are like, that's my ultimate fantasy. But to be honest with you, I think it depends on whether you or not you have feelings for a girl, because when it's just a hookup, I think it's all good.
Yeah.
But when you have feelings for a particular someone, it's got to be very, very selective. But yeah, like something like that would be kind of cool, or like even like I guess like a darkest secret. Like for me physically, I think it's attractive when a girl is not just a dead fish and just sits there, right, and actually gets into it.
Yeah.
But I don't have like anything freaky. Like I would like to get slapped once in a while, probably. I don't care. That'd be cool.
So
Right?
so ladies, listen up. Sometimes you have to take it, but sometimes you can give it. It's okay.
Yeah. And then I think most girls, at least in my experience, prefer to be dominated, right?
Yeah.
I also don't like the dominant type. Like I've got bit before where that shit was not cool.
Like a vampire style.
You were-
Vampire, yeah.
You probably got fish hooked at the same time.
What did Greg say?
You probably got fish hooked.
Fish hooked. Have you gotten fish
What's that?
in the mouth?
Oh, like a finger in the butt?
No, finger.
Oh,
No,
no.
like pull your mouth
No,
to the
never
side.
done that. Never done that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I think I'm pretty lame. I don't know.
man, so you really talked it up, huh? You're like, oh, let's graduate from choking. Let's graduate from pegging, and you're gonna come and tell us that you're all about that. You're
I'm
it's
all
almost-
talk. I'm like a little chihuahua, I guess. All bark, no bite.
all bark, no bite.
No, I mean I'm up for experimenting. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm up for. I don't know about weird shit, but like I think like I guess my weirdest things. I probably watch some weird porn, right? I do watch some weird porn. Do I actually act on that stuff? Absolutely not. but yeah, the weirder it gets, sometimes it's like the more naughty or the more not appropriate it is. Sometimes it can be a turn on.
So
But
so when it comes to porn, you real freaky naughty.
freaking naughty, yeah. When it comes to real life, like, no, I think I'm pretty reserved. Like, I'm not like reserved, but like, definitely, I'm not one of the biggest freaks out there. I have some friends that are pretty freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
the type to be like. I have friends that are like down to be like swingers and stuff, and that can be kinky. That can be way kinky, right? But if you really care for a chick, you gotta be you gotta be out of your mind, really, to be okay with it.
Yeah, that's
And by out of your mind, I mean on drugs and alcohol. And that sometimes is generally the case
yeah,
for many.
that's hilarious, man.
You know,
Well,
a lot of the
listen,
swinger community kind of talks about when you're a swinger, it's all about trust, and it's not just about the sexual relation. It's about being able to trust that the other person is telling you what's going on, and that they're not hiding anything from you.
So of course, it's all honesty. But yeah, until you start fucking someone and develop feelings for someone else, then I'm sure your partner's not going to be cool with it.
Yeah.
But
And
there's a
that's
lot of people that get themselves in deep water with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing, because they typically set
My
rules.
style, but there are people out there that are open to that. Shoot, I have a friend that does adult film. He ended up marrying a porn star, and now he's in porn himself. His name is well, I can't say his name because they may connect him back to me.
Yeah,
but in any case, he's
wow, you're not even worried about burning your frame. You're just worried about not coming back to you.
Hey, get us that sponsor on Pornhub, bro.
Absolutely. All right, cover your own ass. Okay, that's it. You know, you learn that in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I have a friend that he was, you know, making home videos, and I personally have never made a home video. I have another friend that's done that before too. So I have like two different friends that make home videos, sometimes without the girl knowing, which is for a lot of listeners, a lot of women listening, it's like kind of that scary, right? And a lot of people are afraid of that, but that's the reality. There's a lot of men out there that'd be willing to, or like tape. Most of it is probably for themselves, right? Jack off material, but a lot of it is, I don't know, it can be malicious. It can be like, oh, I got some on you, or hey, I'll make money, or whatever. And I know you can get in trouble for that. So, but there's a lot of people that videotape. I think a lot of people are down to videotape, right, as part of their kink. There's ropes, right? There's handcuffs. There's whips. There's 50. I mean, these women are all over 50 Shades of Grey. You see how popular that show or movie is.
Yeah.
And then it opens up your mind, and it's like, of course, they're like, oh no, it's just so romantic. It's just like the guy's so slick. But it's like, in reality, you just want to be dominated, and you need someone to tell you what to do. And a lot of women like that, being told what to do in bed. And I think I was just having a conversation like this with most people that are in a power position. They like to be dominated in the bedroom. And because they're not used to being told what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are some interesting points, huh? That you bring up. And
absolutely.
I'm really upset that you didn't walk the talk.
Like I'm not oversharing. Yeah, maybe if I overshare one of my stories, you'd be like, oh, okay, maybe he's graduated before. at least with an associate degree.
Yeah.
I think like our last caller, you're destined for missionary.
Yeah, I just like, you know, plain old missionary. Don't last long, you know, 2 minutes I'm good.
Hey, I feel like missionary is very undervalued.
Kinks, man. Yeah, but Kinks are so weird, right? I think I discovered not long ago that, you know, slapping, right? The slapping thing. I like slapping. It was cool, right? And then like, I didn't know, you know, as a male, I think you're hesitant to do it. I think you'll find out a lot of women would like it, but it's like, you're afraid, one, to go too hard. And two, what if you do it and it's not like something you're like, oh, can I slap you? Most of the time it can just come natural, right? And I guess you could ask, but it's better if it's just impromptu.
Yeah, like off the cuff.
Right, and you just slap, right? And sometimes they're like, oh yeah, give me again. I'm like, okay, fuck it. And then you just fucking, you wind it back, right? And then you come back
Yeah, daddy.
You wind it back and just let it fly.
Yeah, then you fucking turn it around, and then you fucking pound it doggy style, and then you slap the ass a few times, like you should. And then you take the lube from way up top, and you squirt it from the top, from like a
Salt Bay,
fork,
like Salt
long
Bay.
Fork. Exactly.
You better hope she doesn't think you're tagging her in, and she flips the position.
And then you just start slapping the shit out of that. What else do you want to know? And then you pull on the hair. I like pulling hair. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Man, so yeah, but you know, so the purpose of the call is to find out a little bit about, actually it's about breaking the ice. We want people to be not so reserved We want people to
Oh,
let go a
in
little
bed,
bit.
people be more comfortable. Yeah, I think a lot of people are not comfortable. I think if you have a partner for a long time, you can start experimenting more, and people are more open to that. Like if you're having a one night stand, of course you're not gonna, unless it's like one of those occasions where you're both drunk and it's just
Yeah.
wild.
Well,
You're just gonna go all out.
not even about just sex. I think that a lot of people are too uptight right now. Like they're it's not normal anymore. Like people
The
have
censorship? That's a lot of bullshit.
well, not even just censorship, but also like people have been so cooped up, they don't even know how to act out in the real world anymore. So we want to break the ice. We want to make sure that people feel comfortable walking around, with their stilettos or their gimp suits or their full pleather suits. Nobody cares. It's normal. We all know you have some shit in the closet.
Well, apparently you haven't gone to West Hollywood. Go to West Hollywood or Long Beach, but that tends to be more on the a particular crowd, if you know what I mean. That's more comfortable.
Yeah, we're in this. I'm in this bubble here in Orange County.
Yeah, there's not much
we don't get
going on.
off.
It's all
We don't
family.
get out too much.
Yeah, no, but I agree with you. I think today, I personally have felt more social anxiety, and I would consider myself a social person. When I was cooped up in home, and then I started seeing more and more cars out, I was getting anxiety of
Yeah.
wow, there's too many people.
Mhm.
I'm not used to seeing this many people. As before, I never even thought twice about it.
Yeah, it was so normal.
Yeah, but it's not because I'm afraid of the virus. It's more because it's just like a lot of people in general.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Welcome to my life.
Greg said, "Welcome to my life."
My life, yeah, I'm a social butterfly, right? Like, look at me, I'm a pretty little butterfly, right? Like I'm like all over the place, but and I'm pretty I'm pretty social, but yeah, the social anxiety's kicked in a little bit more than usual, and I'm sure for a lot of folks that were already antisocial, it's even worse today, and they're having a hard time acclimating.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's why we're here. For well, anyway, we really thank you for your time, for sharing your experience with us.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I disappointed. I could share more probably, but maybe later.
Don't worry. You're gonna have to work up to it. I hope that next time you call in, you have some good experiences from here till then.
I mean, it sounds like you want to hear some stories.
Oh, we're open. I'm not talking about specifics. I just want to hear some. What are people doing out there?
I have no clue. I'm curious. I'm gonna listen in and hear what other callers have to say about this. But yeah, I think there is a lot of people that are super comfortable. I think it just depends on the person. I've met some real big freaks, so don't worry. They're out there. And I think there's all ends of the spectrum, right? Just like anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, thank you again for calling. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Ether Podcast.
We'll stay tuned, and
Have a
then
good one.
we hope to hear back from you next time.
You know it.
Hey, good
Sounds
luck
good.
out there.
Have a good night.
All right, you too.
See you later.
Bye.
Oh man. So Greg, what do you think? Dude, I this sucks, man. This audio thing is really killing me when it comes to the calls.
He's able to hear me. That one was fine.
It's
just sometimes I would start talking when he's talking.
Yeah. But so what do you think about this, about the whole open relationship stuff?
I don't know. I don't think it I mean, I think it works, but I think too many feelings, like he was saying before, is that you'll start into this other relationship within the relationship, and you might like someone more than the other people, and now it's screwed up the original relationship you had at the start of this.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've experienced it before, and when I first was told,
experienced it, or
no, it wasn't me. I wasn't in the relationship.
You had a friend who had an open relationship. Okay.
Yeah, and at the start it was like explained, like, oh, this is what we do. These are rules we set. And then like later on, as like they're now comfortable with telling us their experiences and stuff, we just hear like left and right they're breaking their rules, and like we're just sitting here like, How is this working?
Like both of them were breaking the rules,
Um,
or more one person did than the other.
more one person than the other, I guess.
So,
And it
but
was
they were
just
still in the relationship,
yeah.
so it was working out. I mean, maybe maybe the one person started like pushing the line a little bit and t- uh, kind of tiptoeing the line a little bit and kind of step over here and there and see if it's okay. And then the other person said, "Well, whatever."
Yeah, it almost seems to be like two people find each other and they want to be financially sound in a sense,
Yeah,
but they still want to experience everything else in life. But at the end of the day, they come back to each other to make sure that they have everything they need in life. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I see those kind of
sounds like a good
relationships.
plan.
But what happens if you don't come back? Then one person gets screwed.
Well, you learn your lesson. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I could never be in an open relationship. That's just not the way I operate.
Yeah.
But I've seen people who maybe more single guys. I think that they're more willing. Like
I
if they,
think some of them are willing because they think that it's cool that they get to go out and have multiple relationships. But then when they see that the other person is doing it, or maybe they can't get someone and their significant other is getting people every other week, like then there's got to be some issues.
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff there. So I'm gonna read a couple of the posts. Oh, maybe not. I think we have a caller. Hello, thank you for calling the Ether Podcast. You're live on the air.
All right.
Thanks for the clapping.
What's going on, guys? What's up, Marco? What's up, Greg?
Hello.
What's going on? So today we're talking a little bit about. Well, first of all, we're breaking the ice with people. I think that people have been cooped up too long, and to break the ice, we're talking about kinks today. And we would like to know what floats your boat, sir.
All right. What floats my boat? A lot of things, actually. But first, if you don't mind, I wanted to get into some things, and then we'll be able to talk what floats my boat. The first one is, hey, Greg, you were talking about that guy that killed his wife with his dick.
Yes.
No, I had to look it up.
Is that Superman?
So what happened was, let me tell you the story.
Okay.
So the guy, he gets charged for murder because they were charging him that he strangled his wife. But and by the way, they were 60. They were in their 60s. Okay, so they were getting down great.
All right.
Yeah. So then he's getting charged for murder, and his defense was that, no, I choked her. I didn't strangle her. I choked her with my dick. And that was his defense. That was what he was going to use to get out of it. So so the big thing with it was that he wanted to show the jury his dick. I guess it was big.
Oh my God. Imagine standing up to the jury and be like, see, this is the weapon I used.
I want you to refer to Exhibition 69.
Like a condom on too, like try to bump it out of Magnum, like, I don't know. So anyway, so the confusion was, the family didn't really trust him, the wife's family. It doesn't say how the case ended, but it was because what helped was that he told his friend, I did something bad. He later told his friend, I choked her. I choked Francisca. So he never said I strangled her.
Right.
So but at the same time, when they found the autopsy, the body, it was already 8 to 24 hours later.
So, I mean, would you guys feel bad if you killed your significant other? And would you wait 8 hours, 24 hours to call the police?
Ooh, that's a really tough question because I mean, if you had I guess a weapon you needed to register like that. I mean, first of all, if you have that weapon that needs to be registered, that's one thing. But the second is, I don't know. I imagine the guy felt really bad. Like how do you go to the police and say, "Hey, I just killed my wife on accident because she choked on my dick." Like how do you go about that? I think you need more than 8 hours to come up with a reasonable story, even if it is real.
Well, I mean, I've had fantasies about making that phone call someday, but it's not like I want it to happen. I don't want it to happen. I don't want to kill her. But, when it accidentally goes over, I guess, I don't know. You probably struggled with it for a little bit. But at the same time, if I really cared about who I was with, I probably would have, really tried to resuscitate them or call someone for help, despite whether I killed her with my dick or not.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I wouldn't be waiting 8 hours to call people about it.
You'd be like,
I'd probably tweet it right away.
You call it, "Hey, listen, guys, you guys are not going to believe what I did today." "Oh, what is that?" "Oh, I just choked my wife with my dick."
I would be hoping the Ether podcast would be live so I can call in and tell you guys,
Oh my god, dude! If somebody were to call in and live on this show and admitted something like that, I mean, this show would blow up. Imagine that, dude.
Okay. Hey, so I also wanted to touch up on something else.
Okay.
So the other one is, I don't know if you guys looked up any type of Kinks stuff. I used to watch this show on YouTube. It's called The Soft White Underbelly. And this guy does a black and white video interviews with people on Skid Row. Mm-hmm. And they're like heroin addicts, prostitutes, pimps, all types of drug addicts, everything you can think of on Skid Row. And I've seen quite a few of them. They're really good. So there's this montage because he's interviewed probably, I want to say, I'm going to say 100 prostitutes in all his videos, and he puts a montage together.
Yeah.
And in this montage, because in all his interviews, he asks the question, a very basic question, obviously, that anybody would ask a prostitute, would be like, what's the craziest thing someone's ever asked you for?
Yeah.
So he has this montage of the prostitutes and the hookers, and they all had a common one in the montage, and it was that guys asked them, and this was like the biggest one, guys would ask the prostitutes if she would take a shit on their chest.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a tough pill to swallow.
So I guess this is a problem that they run into with porta potties. What is that noise?
We can hear you, Greg. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's a problem with porta potties is sometimes people jump into the porta potty so that people will poop and pee on them.
What? You mean people will get into the feces so that other people can pee and poop on them?
Yes.
What the fuck?
It happened at a fair when we were younger. I want to say
in here with the fairs that we used to go to?
No, it was during like the fair season, like when places would have fairs. And I was told about it from my mom was reading a report about it. And she said, make sure to look in the porta potties before you go to the bathroom when we were going to the fairs.
Wow.
And that's crazy.
Okay.
Well, I don't see where the pleasure can come from. I've heard that it's more the mental state than it is the actual physical pleasure.
I mean, if you're jumping into the into a porta potty so that people can pee on you and poop on you, I think you have bigger problems than a single fetish.
Yeah.
But whatever
And
floats
so
your
what
boat.
I did was I went on to, I don't know if you guys talked about it, I didn't catch on early, but I went on to Men's Health and the top 10 kinks and fetishes.
Hmm.
Number three is body fluids. And 45% of men and 35% of women fantasize about fantasies involving spit, which is really interesting because I listen to quite a bit of like hip hop, rap, and I'm very versed in it. And I've noticed lately, because I always look up the lyrics of songs, I've noticed lately that spit has been popping up a lot.
Like in WAP.
Like that, I'm gonna spit in your mouth kind of lyric.
Yeah, I think WAP has that. Now that I think I recall that in the lyrics.
Lyric, I don't know those, but so 31% of men and 14% of women have fantasies involving breast milk, and that's popped up on my feed lately, which is weird because that's not a fetish of mine. And then 32% of men and 15% of women involving urine. But here's the one. This is why I looked it up. 6% of men and 2% of women have fantasies involving feces.
Whoa. Wow.
Seems like such a low number for what that documentary was telling of what men would do if they could fuck a girl and not have any repercussions for it.
Yeah, well, it's also because you can't find someone who is willing to do that.
Right, unless you paid them, unless you asked them ahead of time with involving money. And if you're going to do that, then you might just go ahead and do it with that fantasy. So maybe it's a bigger fantasy than we think, because I think it could be 6%. And number three on the top 10, if you're asking hundreds of prostitutes and hookers, what's the biggest one? And the biggest one, over 50% was they want me to take a dump on their chest. It's weird. Someone's not being honest.
I don't know how that arouses somebody.
That's what I'm curious about it in a sense of like
thing, no?
Also,
like I can understand why someone wants to do it once.
And with the body fluids, in many of the fantasies involving body fluids, they were used in an act of dominance and submission. That's what it is.
So, okay, so now I understand why and how the whole R. Kelly thing became a thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So that's very informative. I was gonna ask. So what about you, sir?
So it was kind of nice. I went through this list, the top 10, and obviously I'd be down for a lot of these, but let's check it out. If you want to go through it.
Yeah.
Number one, BDSM. 93% of men and 96% of women fantasize about this kink, and really, it's the basic. It's for others, it's about self-escape from self-awareness.
Yeah.
That I'm down. I'm always down. I don't mind. It's not mine. Number two is fetishes, and this involves like feet or armpits. 45% of participants reported having a fetish fantasy before, and then they say 1 in 7 adults have a foot fetish. So I don't know. Not mine. I don't have a fetish for feet at all. Let's see. Oh, the third one was body fluids. Oh, okay, I'd be down to spit on a girl, on a girl. I'm okay with that.
Now, would you brush your teeth beforehand? Or
would I what?
Brush your teeth beforehand, or put.
Look, man, if she wants me to spit in her mouth and she's okay, she's not gonna be like worried if my breath smells.
Imagine she's like, what did you have today? Some onions? And you're like, Now I feel bad.
Uh,
Now I feel worse because now I just spat in your mouth, but also you tasted my lunch. You know.
what you eat is important.
Huh?
What you eat is important. I have heard a story about.
Oh,
Well, here,
Where did he anything go?
I'll tell you the story real quick here. So
What do you got?
this couple, they went out to lunch and they had Mexican food and nothing special. They just had some tacos and the girl had eaten some jalapenos. And they go back home and she ends up giving him a blowjob. But what they didn't know is she had a seed stuck in her tooth. And it ended up going into the pee hole and inflaming his dick so bad they didn't know what was going on.
Oh my god.
And I don't know if you've ever had Ben Gay on your balls before,
Ben
but
Gay?
imagine that feeling, but it would not go away.
No, I've
And-
never had any Ben Gay on my balls, Greg.
And no one could figure that out because she had
No,
eaten a jalapeno that day.
No, okay.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's a lot.
So okay, so number 4.
Oh yeah. No, well, there's also urine. I'm down to pee on a girl. I don't care if she wants me to. I've done it, so it's not that bad. It's whatever.
Just make
not
sure.
no pee.
Just make sure it's not the first piss of the day though, because that shit's strong.
No, it was a late night piss.
All right. You know, when you're all
Okay,
hydrated,
so-
it's all crystal clear.
Yeah. All right. So this next one. This one is voyeurism.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Voyeurism.
What is-
So, what fantasies about watching someone else undress or have sex are very common. 60% of
voyeur,
participants.
like being a voyeur, like in a boat.
Does porn count as that? No, right? Because it would.
No, like a voyeur, not like a like
You know what, Greg? That's true. Porn. That might be porn because they're
Voyeurism?
strangers.
They don't know you're watching unless they want you to watch.
Yeah, because I think that's
That's
what that is.
weird.
Because
Yeah,
then it would be
yeah, you're right. That'd be
exhibitionist
porn.
if you were there in person.
However, voyeurism fantasies often involve sneaking around. So part of the appeal might be the thrill of doing something you're not supposed to. And that's a different kind of voyeurism.
Yeah,
That's a peeping Tom right there.
a peeping
Which-
Tom right there for sure.
That's not the way to go.
So like every 10-year-old boy.
Number, I mean, I'd be down to watch people. Like if I'd be interested actually. Like I've been to sex clubs. I've watched. It's psychologically. I don't know if it's damaging, but watching someone have sex in like groups and different rooms and random people. It's like the next level of porn. Like if you bought VR, if you got a VR and that's what they're saying where porn is going to head, then watching
No pun
someone
intended.
have sex live is probably that where people are trying to get to because it is something, man. It's something I've never experienced that I haven't experienced since. I don't know how to explain it. Which is the next one, number 5. It's called exhibitionism. Which that's kind of like I think maybe my kink. What I think I like I would be into is
Like nude
me
beaches?
watching people have sex and
Yeah.
then and or people watching me have sex.
Yeah,
So I'd be down for that. I'm into that for
Yeah.
sure.
I hear that there's a lot of popular beaches in California that are considered nude beaches. So I'm sure a lot of that shit goes down over there.
Yep.
You think exhibitionism? Yeah, there's clubs probably down by beaches, and then they're holding down. I haven't been to one, but I mean, I don't know. I was walking down here at a beach, and there was a girl with her top off, and it's not a nude beach at all. So it's such a strange thing to walk by, and there's a lot of people. You could see everybody. They're like, "Hey, am I seeing that? Is that real? Is that happening right now?
Yeah.
Is this girl actually doing that?" And you could see a lot of people like, "Look, I mean, it was one of the reasons I looked because people were like, oh my god, like it was like a thing. It's a big thing because it's not a nude beach here."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, maybe she's into that, huh?
yeah. Number 6 is age play. I got to read this one. I haven't read it. It says some of my participants fantasize about taking on different roles and ages. For example, 11% have fantasies about dressing up or acting as a child. So there was this one. There is this one like sex club, and one room, and this is really weird. And you guys are going to find this really weird. One room was like kids play. Like the girl or the guy, whoever, could go into a like a crib.
Yep, diaper play is a big thing actually.
Diaper play?
Yeah.
Do you shit in the diaper and then have them wipe your ass?
Yep.
That's like 2 for 1 right there.
Wow.
And there was actually at one of the high schools in the area I didn't go to. There was actually like a gang of girls who would wear pacifiers. And
At a high school you didn't go to or you went to?
no, I didn't go to it. I don't know anyone. Well, I know one or two people who went there, but the gang that wore pacifiers, it was a gang of girls, and it was it was a symbolize that they were into that kind of a thing.
Okay, man. Okay, so number 8.
So number 7 actually. Number 7 is furry. 9% of my participants said they fantasize about dressing up as. Oh, by the way, I'm not into age play, but furries, I'd be down only if she asked me to. But I would have to really know this person, care about this person, be in a relationship with this person to do furry stuff. And it's dressing up as an animal to have sex.
Yeah, dude. I think that one of the conventions that I went to for work in Vegas, we walked in and then it was like 2 weeks. 1 week it was like a cowboy convention, and the second week it was like there was just furries everywhere.
But see, the problem with that is there are multiple types of furries. There's a sexual type of furry and a non-sexual type of furry. So the ones that you typically see out and about are the non-sexual kind. And they just like to dress up kind of like mascots.
I mean, whether it's sexual or not sexual, I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think it's more funny. I think it's more playful than sexual, which is why I would do it, but it wouldn't be the thing to turn me on. All right, so the number 8 is gender play. A lot of cisgender people use their fantasies as a way of exploring their gender role and or expression. For example, I found that 1 in 4 cis persons have fantasized about cross-dressing, while 1 in 3 had fantasized about trading bodies with someone of another sex. This is a overlap of BDSM.
See, I think every guy has been like, I think every guy has been like, what if I was Megan Fox for a day? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what I would do to myself.
What do you mean? Like, what would I do to myself if I was Megan Fox for a day?
Yeah.
Do you think this could be that form, Greg, of like pegging, where like the reason why maybe it's not that they're gay, but that maybe they think about gender play, like what would it be like, and then you get
because you can
like that, you know what I mean?
can like pegging and have absolutely no interest in being gay. Hello.
Yeah, can you repeat that?
Yeah, so you can be interested in pegging, but sorry, what?
So like this could be part of the whole pegging.
No, no, because pegging, you can enjoy pegging without being gay, without thinking that you're a woman or.
We're talking about trading genders. Like maybe pegging it was more for like how would it feel to be like taken behind, but I'm not gay. It's just I'm gender playing with the role. The way I play with my female partner, I also want to know what my female partner feels like.
Typically, I would say no, but I think they could possibly include that in what you're reading.
I think that's just an excuse. I think it's just an excuse. just don't up to it, you know.
Hey, by the way, I've heard it's already popped up a few times. It seems to be the hot topic for tonight, which is the pegging, or really like the whole thing. And I'm gonna have to say this: it's been attempted on me a few times. I wasn't with it earlier in my life, but when I was in a long-term relationship, you know, Asplay started getting involved, and there was licking, and that felt good. And that happened for like a couple of years. And as I got more, I started to like it more. But I was very resistant at first, very resistant. Then it started happening where it was a little bit more that tongue was getting like not as soft. It was becoming like a stiffer tongue. And I would be down to allow a finger in my ass. And I'm saying this because I've already read a few books that the male G-spot is there. And I think it's just like one of the callers said, you know, I maybe haven't figured out all my kinks yet. I think this could be one. And I love women. I think the most beautiful things in the world. But if she wants to go with a finger in, I'm down. I'm in it. And I think it might feel good. But I won't know until it happens. But that's how I feel about that one. So that would be gender play, maybe. I don't know.
But see, there's things that I'd be willing to do to someone else that I would not be willing for them to do to me.
Why, Greg? It's the 21st century. Everything's
because.
But Greg,
but it's not because
the one that told us that it happened to you guys.
Well, sorry, what was that?
Did
it happen to you guys?
What?
What? In the butt.
No. So what I'm saying, what I mean is there are certain things that, like I don't know. Someone earlier said slapping. I'd be fine to slap someone, but I would not want to be slapped. Like,
so is it okay? I think that maybe you're afraid of losing the control you have.
No, I just don't like pain.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Like I don't feel like there's a thing in the back of my head where it's like, if they do this to me, I'll feel weak. No, it's just like certain things are just weird. Like some people like being scratched, and I'm fine doing that, but I don't like.
You don't enjoy, being scratched.
Yeah, if I go eat some tacos the next day and my arm's burning because a lemon got in my arm and still scratch me, like that outweighs everything.
Problems. Okay. All right. So I guess we've established that some people like a finger in the butt. I think that's more normal than we would like to think. I personally, I'm not into it, but whatever floats people's boats. I think that's. I mean, it's just part of the experience as a human.
So that's my point. You don't want someone to stick a finger in your butt, but would you stick your finger in someone's butt?
I would do it to my significant other if if
There you
that's
go.
what they like, only because if they like it, that's my thing. That's where I feel the pleasure. It's that
Yeah, there
I'm
you go.
giving pleasure. So um, I think that that's where I would lie with that.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
that's
I
exactly what
don't.
I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. I get you. All right.
Yeah,
So
that's a nice segue, Marco, into number 9, which is cuckolding. And I'll read that. 58% of men and 33% of women
Fif-
have fantasized about this before.
58% of men.
58% of men.
I don't know about
Was
that.
this like a national thing or like just like you know
This is America. This is a
58%
top,
of
58.
America who watch or
Nah.
this is on men's what?
no, of men, America, who voted here. I'm not, don't go with 58% of like America, because not everybody in America voted. Like it was part of the ballot last week. This is just 58% of the
Stop the
people that
count.
voted.
Stop the
Imagine
count.
it's on the ballot and it's like, yeah. Do you like
You know
cuckolding?
what?
Yeah.
We need this information. America needs this information. We need to put this on.
Yeah,
All right.
stop
So for
spreading
this
the
one, we're gonna have to
misinformation.
go incognito mode for this one. Greg, put on those glasses.
Pew
man.
pew pew.
All right. So cuckolding.
I'll say this.
Uh-huh.
I'll say this about me. I could never allow my I couldn't see it. It's the opposite of turning me on to if that happened to my wife. But I would never mind being the other guy, and I think a lot of us can relate to that. You know what?
I forget what movie I was watching, but it was like
Brokeback Mountain.
no, it was a casino movie, I think. And the guy went to the casino, and he was sitting at the table, and he was betting, and he won. So this hot girl next to him started like paying attention to him, but you could see like she was with someone, like her husband, and then the husband looked at him and was like, "Yeah, like get my wife," kind of thing. And they all went back to their place, and he essentially cuckolded the guy. But then at the very end, when they were all done and they were like going their separate ways, the husband then just beat the crap out of the guy and
Oh.
like got pleasure from
Maybe
beating
that's
the
just
crap
part
out
of
of the guy.
Maybe that's just part of the kink.
And
He'll let you,
well,
he'll let you fuck his wife, but then he's gonna have to, beat the fuck out of you.
yeah, and that goes to what is that called? The sadism and masochism.
Yeah. Well, I have a story about this. So
Buddy,
we actually Greg was there. We took we went to we had a party down in SD, and we had a party of maybe I don't know 8-10 guys. We were all hanging out at a restaurant. We had dinner. We were gonna go to the gas lamp quarter that night. So we were just pre gaming at this restaurant. And towards the end of the dinner, we had a couple of ladies in their I would say late 30s come over and start eat. I was finished with my food, but they started picking out of my plate, and I was like, oh yeah, have at it. Okay, I'm finished, whatever. And next thing you know, the other one is like across the table. She sits on one of the guys' laps, and then I'm just dumbfounded. I don't know what's going on. Uh, Half the guys found it cool. Half the maybe a quarter of the guys were like, "Man, what are these ladies doing? Like, get out of here. We don't want you here." But I was just like enjoying the show. It was fun. It was funny. And next thing you know, like I look over behind me to the bar area, and there was two guys giving us the thumbs up. Dude, they were giving us the thumbs up. I mean, it was like out of a movie. That was probably
wow.
yeah, that was I think I mean, what do you think was going to happen? Had it not been our friends who, maybe it was some other people who were down for it, those two guys would have watched 12 guys, whew, just go to town on their wives?
Some people are into it. I don't know what it is. I have to read you this because maybe we could get some answers. For some, it's about self-enhancement. Knowing that other people find their partner to be hot actually boosts their self-esteem. For others, it's about wanting to see their partner sexually satisfied. They take pleasure in their partner's pleasure. And yet for others, there's a BDSM element, and a lot of these have BDSM elements. In many of these fantasies, the watcher is taking on a submissive role and is sometimes humiliated in the process, which is what I think that we think a lot that that's what it mainly is being in a submissive role and being humiliated in the process based on some forms that I've seen. But it could also be they want to see their partner sexually satisfied, which I've seen in some forms. And I haven't seen that self-enhancement on the boost of their self-esteem, but there's some guys out there who have no problem that their woman dresses so provocative because they like that people check out their women. That's a real thing. I've heard of that.
Like having like an expensive car, and then you're like, oh, you get all these compliments, and it raises your it's like an ego boost.
Right. I would think so. Like, I mean, if that's what you like. Like, for me, I'm not. I don't. Cuckolding's not there for me. But for some, I've seen it. They really enjoy it. Like, check out my girl. She's hot. Like, they like that. They're confident, and they don't mind guys checking them out.
Yeah.
They want that.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
It's too far deep for me.
Also, wanting to see their partner sexually satisfied, they take pleasure in their partner's pleasure. I'd like to see my partner sexually satisfied, not by another dick.
Yeah, that's another frontier that's not for you.
So number 10 is food and sex. 40% of my participants have fantasized about this before.
Can you repeat that one more time?
So it turns out that a lot of people are into the idea of incorporating food with sex.
Oh.
About 40% of my participants have fantasized about this before, and that's not for me. It's not something I like or do at all. I'd be down if someone wants to incorporate ice cubes, strawberries, whipped cream.
Yeah, I was just about to say if it's some chocolate, something of that, so maybe some whipped cream, maybe like a cheese platter or something like that,
Dude, if I was eating some tendies and getting a BJ, dude,
like some edible thongs or something. Thong. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think I mind that. I think that's a little bit more of the. No, I don't think it's more role playing, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe you want to pretend you're like Tarzan and you want to, go pick these berries off the tree or something. I mean, I don't know.
Well, there's
what you do. The fantasy is that you work at a grocery store and you're the produce guy, and this mom, this milk, she wants to incorporate some of the cucumber.
Our bananas are on sale today.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. I'd be down for like working with some fruit and vegetables.
Well, have you heard of sushi girls?
What's that?
And then in a sick way, like eating them afterwards.
Make dinner afterwards.
Sushi girls.
And not tell them.
Yeah. Great. What was it?
Sushi girls.
Sushi girls. What is that?
So a girl will lay down on a table naked, and they serve sushi on her body.
Oh, so like they're serving that raw fish straight from the source.
No. Not like how you think. You see it? There was a movie that was about him.
Well, that's all I got. So
Man,
hope
well, that was a
that
lot.
answers your
I
question.
think that may have really helped the listeners to get an idea of many different kinks out there. You know,
Yeah.
I just wish that more of these listeners were not so afraid of sharing with us. And don't worry, you know, we're gonna convince them. We'll get there. But you know, we really appreciate your input for today. Thank you so much for calling in and sharing some of your kinks with us to break the ice. You know, I think that people need to recognize they need to stop being prudes. You know, we gotta be. It's 2021. We gotta be open, and whatever floats your boat. You know.
Yeah. Now's the time. All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you
All right.
later.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you for calling.
Have a good night.
Wow, very informative. I have to say.
Yeah, I actually wrote down that documentary that he was talking about, the soft flight underbelly. I feel like I've seen that before, but I feel
So
like going into these ethers, I don't necessarily have a lot that I want to research, but going out of them, I just like have tabs and tabs and tabs of things open
yeah.
and ready to research for the next week.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that you have a million tabs for tonight. Hey, so really quick, so we have some Reddit posts that I want to read here.
Okay.
The first one is, what's a fetish or kink you wish you didn't have? And then I'm gonna go ahead and read some of these uh, po- uh, replies and comments.
Okay.
One person says public sex. Did it once at a party with some girl on a couch while others watched, and I realized that it was definitely a kink for me. I also realized I should never explore this kink because I know some exhibitionists who basically get addicted to it and ends up with them getting off in incredibly uncomfortable situations for everybody else. Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, that's yeah. We think we went through that in the list. Exhibitionism.
Yeah, I was actually reading through other comments on
Uh-huh.
that comment, and one of them was like, "Yep, that's why I can't go to my local Denny's."
You get banned from places.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay. Huh, degradation. It's just something my partner won't do, but something I can't shake and would like to experience at least once. Degradation. What is it like? Like shaming or talking down or I mean, man,
Yeah, the act of degrading.
some people just want to feel like shit sometimes, huh? Wait, how's your life? Is your life going perfect? Like, I don't
There,
understand.
there's a restaurant just like that where the servers are supposed to be as rude as possible,
Oh, I've heard about it. What is it called?
and they'll walk up and they'll just look at you and just make fun of you. Like you walk up
They'll just
and
roast you.
they'll be like, huh, "Nice mustache. You look like a fireman from that porno I was watching earlier." They'll do stuff like that. And like if you ask for napkins, they'll walk up to the table and throw them at your face.
I mean, I would not pay to go to that restaurant. Somebody
I
invited
would,
me and paid for my food. Maybe I'd go for the experience, but I would not pay to get shit on all the time.
I would go because I feel like it is more comical because you it's called Duck's Restaurant. I feel like it's more comical and more fun than it is like I don't know. Maybe they'll hit one of your insecurities or something, but
Is there one here? Close to it?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'll check it out.
search it up, dude. Maybe we can do we can go live on the gram for that one. While you do that, I'm gonna go and share one more here. Wanting to be fucked by multiple men at once, two or three would be perfection. This is all stemming from a semi threesome that happened spontaneously when I was a teenager. Boyfriend and a friend, and while I didn't have PIV intercourse with them both, it was so fucking hot. But I'm married now, and there's no way my husband would ever be down for that ever. So that sucks. They also say sleep, semi, or unconscious sex. Me being the one not fully conscious. You can guess where that came from. I feel gross watching that kind of porn, especially because there's such a high chance that it wasn't made ethically, and I don't know if I would ever want to do that with my partner in real life. I doubt that he would be into it anyway, and I'd probably be concerned if he was.
I'm a little confused. As in, one person's awake, the other one's sleeping.
Like half asleep, like where
I,
she's half asleep and
why would someone not be into that? I don't understand. Like I can understand like being
bad
annoyed, like, oh, I
experiences.
have work tomorrow morning, like why are you waking me up? But like to be upset enough to like, oh, this is weird, we're breaking up.
Yeah,
Nah. That's just like
Greg, check this one out, dude. I
I,
often think about my boyfriend doing stuff with other girls and then catching them and then joining in, or sometimes not even catching them. I don't know why, but it's so hot for me because in real life, I would hate it if he cheated on me. And I don't think I could be poly. I also would like him to catch me having sex with another chick, and then sometimes also joining in too. Just makes me feel weird because who fantasizes about their boyfriend's cheating? I never did before this boyfriend. Huh. That's I mean, see, it's normal. This shit's fucking normal, Greg. What do you think about this?
um I don't know.
Yeah,
That to me right there, I would not want someone like that.
you would not want somebody like that?
Yeah, because it's like if you're hiding things like that, like you're probably doing things behind their back.
Yeah, but she says that she's into it.
Yeah, but now the other person's not into it, so you're. It's like the whole concept with the open relationship. Why that some people say that open relationship is a better concept because then you're telling the truth, even if you're doing something the other one doesn't like. You're actually communicating and being truthful about it instead of sneaking around behind their back.
So maybe you have the conversation beforehand and see if they're okay with it. But
Yeah.
hey, by the way, you may or may not catch me later. You know, you may or may not catch me while you go to the grocery store, and then come back, and then they have that fruit play that we discussed earlier.
I just was reading one on the same Reddit post as you, and it says, "I have, I have a fetish for women who don't shave. I was
Oh
born
my,
a few decades too late."
Greg! I was literally about to read that same one.
Uh,
Dude, imagine muffin dive, like just dive into a big old muff that hasn't been hedged.
yeah, imagine.
Oh, it sounds like some personal experience. Okay, let's see. What else is there? Let's see.
People really like feet, and I don't get it. I feel like I understand it only because of cheese. Okay, blue cheese. Do you like blue cheese?
I love blue cheese.
Okay, a nasty foot to me smells like blue cheese. So if people like blue cheese to the amount of people I know who like blue cheese, I feel like that's why so many people like feet because it's so similar in smell
I,
that
I
people
don't
are
think so.
attracted.
I don't think so. I think that you have a like in your mind when you think about a nasty foot, you think about cheese. In my mind, when I think about a nasty foot, I'm thinking about a nasty foot, and I'm just like, oh, that's just a gross foot. But I don't typically associate many things to food per se, so I don't have the same experience.
Well, think about like, what if something just smelled and tastes like your favorite food, and it's just weird, and no one else is like, yeah, that's what it is, but to you, that's like exactly what it seems
Yeah,
to be like.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that does happen. I think that a lot of people make those two correlations. Okay, so a lot of people are into pegging. Wow. Okay, so well, I like when a guy wears lingerie for me and lets me peg him. But honestly, so many men are opposed to that that I ain't even asking at this point.
See, that's the thing, though. It's like if you ask, they say no. That's weird. Then you move on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, furry fetishes. A lot of people have definitely cuckolding. They say definitely cuckolding. Stepsisters going at it with each other. Wow. Um, armpits.
You know, this is one that's kind of weird, and I don't understand. Is pregnant people? People are actually like really like pregnant people,
Yeah.
and I don't.
You know what?
I
You
don't
know
understand.
what I think it might be? It might be the pheromones in the air. You know, like
Maybe
the pheromones. I
people are more sensitive to it.
yeah, like I think that for sure when I was like young, maybe like in teenage years, I remember being attracted to a lady who was pregnant. It was just
Well,
weird, and I
I've
was
been
like,
attracted to ladies who are pregnant, but I'm not like. I wish I had that person while they were pregnant.
I don't think that ever crossed my mind. I think it was just like if that lady, you know, is down, I'm down, kind of thing. But that was me when I was young. So
There's some pretty intense ones on here that it seems almost like people were put in a situation uncontrollably and found out they liked something
hmm
within that uncontrollable circumstance,
hmm
and they kind of correlate the two together.
well, definitely there's a thing called imprinting
Yeah.
when your first sexual experience can imprint you for life, so that you're always going to want that experience for the rest of your life or a variation of that of some sort.
Okay.
I think that's a thing. So like, if you're, God forbid you're abused, but and then later down in life when you're maybe you went to therapy, got your shit together and you moved on kind of thing, but you for whatever reason, sexually speaking, you can't move on and that's what you're tied to. I think that there's a lot of people in those shoes.
Okay.
There's one person who said vanilla sex. They just want vanilla sex.
Hell yeah, dude. To tell you the truth, though, if you think about it, though, is why do people keep needing to do all these positions and not actually look at the person? Because it's so much harder
It's
to.
that comes from watching too much porn. That's
I
that's
don't know, dude.
that's the downfall of porn.
In
It's
my go ahead.
yeah, it's people get these wild ideas like, oh, I'm gonna try this position, but it ain't comfortable sometimes. Like you can tell like that she's not having fun.
Yeah, right.
You
It's
know?
like, oh man, my wrists are hurting from like leaning on them all like the past like 15 minutes. Blood flow back in. But no, like
Yeah, porn definitely has had a very detrimental, negative side effect to men, particularly men, because I think men watch more porn than women. And I think it's definitely it's affecting you know people's lives here.
yeah.
Let's see what else. Were you gonna say? Were you gonna say one?
Just there's a thing. It was actually really prominent in the basketball league where people were going after married women.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the basketball players, they weren't interested in all these easy girls who would come to them because they're NBA stars.
Because
That
they
they
get it all the time.
Yeah. So what
They want to,
they wanted to try to get someone.
yeah, they want to be on the prowl.
Yeah, and so they were going after the other players' wives.
They're more into the journey as opposed to the destination.
Yeah, so there was a big problem with a bunch of NBA players cheating with other NBA players' wives, and I I don't get it. It seems almost like people like to cause problems. You know, it's like all of this. Just like the more and more I hear it, the more and more it sounds like we all want to have some type of problem, and we choose which one we like the most.
Yeah, I mean, everybody gets dealt a shit pie. It just all depends how you're gonna eat it.
Yeah.
There's two here that caught my attention. One of them says farting. Like I genuinely don't know what it is. I love women doing it, and it just gets my motor going. It's
Yeah,
it's so fucking gross, and I know the hell and the hell with that, but holy shit, I hate it, but I love it.
I mean, I think most people have like farted and be like, "Oh, my fart."
Not me, dude. Sometimes you like if you're in bed and you fart, you cover your sheets. You're like, oh man, that's a bad one. What do
Yeah,
they call it?
every time you still do it.
What do they call it? Something like a French oven or something. I forget what they called it. Dutch oven.
Dutch oven, yeah.
Okay, so here the last one here says women in heels. Where I live, no one gives a shit about how they look. It's the typical joke about everyone at the grocery store in their sweatpants. I fucking hate that my brain has decided to make this a core component of my attraction to women. Why couldn't I be more normal and just be into giant boobs or something? That's hilarious. So the stilettos there, huh?
Yeah.
But I guess the moral of the story is that we're breaking the ice with these types of podcasts. I hope that we can do another podcast like this in the future. Definitely, if a good one. And we've learned a lot. I think that the more we look into it, the more I feel like more people are normal. So if you guys would like to interact with us, give us a little bit about what is it that floats your boat, what gets your motor going, what is your kink. Share it with us at any of our social media pages, such as Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can find us at TPP is loading. Again, the username is at TPP is loading. And we would love to know. We would love to know what gets your engine started. You know, it's normal. Like the gentleman who our last caller said, there's many people out there with the same either kinks, same um, kind of same stories. They have a lot of common interests. I mean, if furries became a thing or shitting on somebody's chest became a thing, I guess it's time to normalize it. Everybody knows you're doing it. Like, Greg, you know how you can tell when you're at the grocery store. You're like, man, that's one weird person. I definitely know what they're doing. Like, imagine if they're weird at the store. Like, what do you think they're doing at home behind
Yep.
closed doors?
Walmart people.
Walmart people. I think anybody. I think more maybe Whole Foods people, maybe Sprouts people. But anyway, that is the show. I think that if you guys are interested, we're also uploading some new merch on our store on Teespring, which is linked on the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you guys are notified when we go live for the Ether podcast, for the regular podcast, for the Rabbit Hole Series podcast. Hope you guys stay classy out there, and we will see you guys next week.
Have a good night.
All right. I'll talk to you later.